My name is Stanley. I'm co-creator of an ever-expanding universe of superheroes, such as Spider-Man, the Fantastic Four, and the Incredible Hulk. Many people claim to possess extraordinary powers, but I want to know which ones are truly superhuman. Meet Daniel Browning Smith. He's the world's most flexible man. Together, we're on a mission to find people with real superpowers. Superhumans are out there. Prepare to meet them. This time, I'm sending Daniel to meet 4 amazing individuals. A woman who climbs just like Spider-Man. A scientist harnessing the power of the spider. And a man who seems to defy gravity. But first up, there's a man who claims he is genetically immune to the effects of altitude sickness and has climbed Everest without supplemental oxygen. What you are about to see is real. Now, some of these tests are extremely dangerous and could cause severe injury or even death. Do not try these tests yourself.
Oxygen, the gas that all living things need to breathe. Here in the Himalayas, the planet's highest mountain range, the air is so thin, no ordinary human being can survive without oxygen tanks. But there's one Sherpa who says his body needs no extra oxygen and has conquered Mount Everest 10 times, more than anyone else. But is Angarita really altitude-proof? I brought him to America to put him to the test. The effects of altitude usually begin above 10,000 feet, with a lack of oxygen causing the body and brain to shut down. But Angarita Sherpa claims to be completely immune to altitude. Even when exposed to the potentially fatal conditions at the summit of Mount Everest. 29,000 feet. I mean, that's as high as a jumbo jet flies. That's insane. How long does it take to climb that high?
For a normal person, the climb takes 2 months. But that's because they have to acclimate to the lack of oxygen at this altitude.
Ang tells me it takes months for mountaineers to acclimate gradually to the extreme altitude of Everest. And they still need extra oxygen. But Ang claims he can climb straight up to the top.
All I need is juice and water to get to the summit.
So do many accidents happen because people run out of oxygen?
When people run out of oxygen, they can no longer walk. Then they die.
So why can you do it? Why can you climb Mount Everest without any oxygen? I'm confused. Are you a legend in Nepal?
Yeah.
So you're the only person on the planet who's pulled this off?
Yeah.
It's time to take things up a level. To find out if Angarita is immune to altitude, I've brought him to the world's leading altitude research facility. Dr. Scott McIntosh is going to test Angarita in this chamber by exposing him to extreme conditions, with no time for his body to acclimate.
The partial pressure of oxygen at the top of Mount Everest is about 1/3 of that as it is at sea level. If any one of us were instantly transported to the summit of Mount Everest, we'd probably fall unconscious in about 3 to 5 minutes, and then at about 10 to 12 minutes, we'd probably die.
But Angarita claims he can go straight to the top with no effects. So I want to put Ang to the test. So I heard that this was the right kind of equipment to use.
It's called a hyperbaric chamber, and we have vacuum pumps in the back room that suck the air out of it to simulate what would take days to do climbing the mountain.
Do the experts think it's possible Angrita is somehow immune to altitude? And so what do you think would happen to a Sherpa when you put him in a high-altitude chamber with no acclimation time?
I think it'll be just like anybody else, but I don't know.
We're going to use the hyperbaric chamber to simulate being transported instantly to high altitude. By comparing Angrita's response to these average humans, we'll find out if his body is genetically different.
All right, I'm ready. Let's do this. Okay, we'll go ahead and start the pumps at this time. 3, 2, 1, start ascent.
Like everyone else, I am breathing normal air through my mask, but the pressure in the chamber is dropping.
Good. If everybody feels okay, thumbs up, please. Okay?
The chamber is now being taken up to 20,000 feet, where half the group will take off their masks, the equivalent of being instantly transported to the top of Mount McKinley. The doctors will measure how fast their oxygen levels drop and wait for the potentially lethal symptoms of altitude to kick in. The lack of oxygen in the blood is called hypoxia and should start to impair brain function.
So now half of our group, including Ong, has taken their masks off at 20,000 feet.
And we're going to hand out some cognitive tests and see how they perform.
We'll wait a minute or two to let the hypoxia set in and see how their testing does.
The students in Ang must repeatedly try to complete these simple puzzles as the chamber is taken even higher.
Okay, want to go on up to 25 now? Okay, we're ascended to 25. Okay, everybody keep your legs uncrossed. We're going up higher now, all right?
We are rising to 25,000 feet. After just a few seconds, their motor skills begin to suffer.
Definitely feeling a little smiley, but
Angrita appears unaffected.
Ong, how are you feeling right now?
4 minutes, 10 seconds.
Do you feel any of the effects at all?
Angrita says he feels nothing as the altitude claims its first victim.
Ong, do you feel normal, as if you were at...
Luis, you're going out. Get number 11 there, you're going out. Hang on a minute, hang on. Luis, do you know that you're about to pass out? How do you feel?
good.
You feel good? Why were you wobbling around in your seat?
I don't know. Yeah.
His rapid loss of consciousness is what led to a 1985 Greek air disaster. When the cockpit pressure failed, hypoxia knocked out the pilots, and the plane flew on autopilot until it ran out of fuel and crashed, killing everyone on board.
Ang is already a drastic change from 99.
He might have less oxygen in his blood, but he's utilizing that oxygen much better. Do you feel any problems?
I'm absolutely amazed. I mean, everyone else seems like they're drunk, they're wobbling, yawning, and he's just sitting here like nothing's happening.
Now it's time for phase 2 of the test.
So what we're going to do now is have the other folks who have their masks still on, we're going to take those off at 25,000 feet and see what happens.
The 3 women will instantly feel the full force of the lack of oxygen at 25,000 feet.
Tell me how you feel.
Very much so lightheaded.
Okay. Doesn't take long, does it?
I feel wonderful.
You feel wonderful? Okay. It's pretty hard working that puzzle, isn't it?
With no time to acclimate, the 3 women are hit hard by hypoxia.
Hold her in the seat, hold her in the seat, hold her in the seat. Hey, number 6 is going out, she's going out.
So as you can tell,
She's gone.
so it looks like all the subjects who took their masks off directly at 25,000 have all almost gone unconscious and have put their masks back on.
And the men have now all lost their battle with altitude. Angrita, on the other hand, is somehow totally fine. The experiment has proven that Ang's body is genetically different and can easily cope with the lack of oxygen at 25,000 feet.
Ron, thank you very much. When the people took their masks off at 25, and they were just hitting the deck left and right, but the whole time, Ang fared pretty well.
But Aang claims he is immune to much higher altitudes.
So what I want to do now is actually put Aang to the test. I actually want to go to the height of Mount Everest and even further and see how Aang fares. So why don't we go for another run?
Being exposed to this altitude would kill any normal human in just a few minutes. How long can Angrita withstand? In my quest to find people with real-life superhuman powers, I've brought Tibetan Angrita Sherpa to Arizona to test his claim that he's immune to the lethal effects of high altitude. We found even experienced mountaineers need months to acclimate to low oxygen.
At 25,000 feet, people started shaking, their lips turned blue, convulsing. People were passing out left and right. But somehow, Angrita had no effects whatsoever. But now we're going to take it to the next level. So we're about to take Angrita to 29,000 feet, the same height as Everest. Pull the mask off and see what happens. So if he can pull this off, he definitely has a superhuman ability to withstand high altitudes.
Everyone ready? Good. Well, we're going to 29,000 feet. Have a good flight.
As the hyperbaric chamber takes us straight up to 29,000 feet, Scott explains just how serious this is.
Normal takes about 2 months in order to be fully acclimatized to go to the summit of Everest.
15,000 feet.
Like I said before, if any of us were put instantly on the summit of Mount Everest, we'd probably go unconscious in just a couple of minutes, and then likely fall into a coma and die. The reason that we're going to do this is to test Aang and to compare his ability against some Western individuals.
Okay, we're at 29,050 feet.
I think we should put him to the test.
You guys ready to do this? All right, on the count of 3, gentlemen. 3, 2, 1, go.
Be sure and turn their regulators off, safety observers, so they don't get pressure. 30 seconds.
After only a few seconds, the symptoms begin.
Number 5's at 88, 87%. I'm starting to get a little bit of tingliness, starting to get a little bit of tunnel vision, and a little bit of color blurriness.
The 2 test subjects' brains are shutting down, and their hands are starting to shake.
Aang, how are you feeling?
Scott can't believe Aang is showing no symptoms as one of the test subjects starts to lose control.
Raise your hands up. Raise your hands up high. Put them up high. Okay, he's right on the verge of going out.
Subject 12, how do you feel?
He won't respond, I bet you.
Aang's looking amazingly calm. It seems like it's not even affecting him.
I agree, he's looking very steady compared to some other folks.
After just a couple of minutes being exposed to this extreme altitude, one of the subjects has lost consciousness.
Wow, that looked really difficult for you to put it on. Your body was convulsing.
But Aang is fine.
He says you don't feel anything.
He says he feels okay still right now. We also have subject number 5. However, he looks very hypoxic.
And seconds later, the altitude claims another victim. We've clearly gone beyond normal human limits. But how far can Aang go?
Aang is still steady as a rock, man. Can we actually go beyond Everest?
To prove he has no limits, Aang's willing to go to the max.
Yes, we'll take it right on up to even 30,000 feet.
Good, thank you.
Okay?
But even at 30,000 feet, Aang proves his body is genetically immune to the effects of altitude. And after 24 minutes, the doctors give up.
We are at 24 minutes and 30 seconds. I'd really like to start bringing him down for the amount of time we've been up here.
All right, that's absolutely amazing.
24 minutes without oxygen at the summit is a pretty big feat. Yep, we even went higher than the summit.
Ron, how did you think Angrita fared?
We saw exactly what we should see with somebody genetically inclined to be able to handle the altitude, as his partial pressure of oxygen was lower than anything I've ever seen.
With almost zero side effects, Angrita's body truly is capable of coping with altitudes that would kill any normal human. His incredible ability certainly earns him a place among my superhumans. Back when I was writing the Marvel character Spider-Man, it was pure fantasy. We took a power from nature and fused it with man to create a superpower. But this time, I want Daniel to investigate some people who are making my dream a reality.
Human beings have created some of the toughest materials on the planet. From steel to hold up skyscrapers, to Kevlar that can stop a bullet. But steel and Kevlar are nothing when it comes to the toughest fiber in the world, spider silk. In his comics, Stan gave Spider-Man the power to create this super strong web. Scientists have spent decades trying to decode the spider secret, to mass produce the spider super silk and revolutionize the world we live in. But I'm on my way to meet a man who says that he has broken the code. I'm heading to a farm in Utah to meet Dr. Randy Lewis. In his quest to create the toughest material on the planet, he claims to have bred a herd of genetically engineered goats with a secret deep in their DNA.
You Randy? Hi, Daniel.
Yeah, nice to meet you,
Nice to meet you.
So, Randy, these goats look pretty normal. What makes them so special?
The only difference between these goats and a normal goat is that they have a spider silk gene in them. And that spider silk gene is designed so that it'll only produce the spider silk protein in the milk.
So, all these goats in here are part spider.
Randy claims that by analyzing the spider's genetic code, he's discovered the DNA for its web. And by injecting the DNA into a goat embryo, he's created a goat that can actually produce spider silk.
So why a goat? Why a spider?
Well, spider silk, because it is the toughest material out there. It's stronger than Kevlar, it's tougher than Kevlar. So there's lots of applications for things like that. The problem is that you can't farm spiders. They are cannibalistic and they're territorial.
People have tried collecting web from spiders, but Randy tells me that just one mutated mammal with the web gene will produce just as much silk as 400 spiders. Creating a fiber stronger than Kevlar is a bold claim. I need to see some proof.
They just don't look that different.
No, they're. As a matter of fact, when we look at the whole set of them, you'll see that you can't tell the ones that have the gene from the ones that don't.
I mean, I was expecting like spider silk to come out or something like that.
I wish it were that easy. I wish it were that easy.
Yeah. It's just looks normal to me.
Yep. It looks the same as normal milk except for one extra protein.
It sounds like science fiction. Could this milk really contain the strongest material on the planet? I think Randy just might have the genius to pull off this crazy idea.
Well, I'd love to go to the lab and see how this is
Sounds
separated.
good. Let's head to the lab and we'll show you how we do it.
Spider goes. I was expecting them to have 8 legs or something.
We've come to Randy's lab at Utah State University. Surrounded by the spiders that inspired him, Randy says he's going to reveal his process that turns the milk into spider silk. A material that took spiders 500 million years to perfect.
Yeah, it looks just like normal milk.
So here's where we do the initial step of the purification. It first gets pumped through this area. There are a bunch of thousands of little hollow tubes in there.
This process extracts the spider silk protein hidden in the milk.
We take that protein, we put it in here, pulls the vacuum, takes all the water off, and you end up with a tube that just has dry powder in it.
So what was it like when you first isolated the spider silk?
Well, it certainly was a eureka moment. You know, when we finally got it, you sort of felt like were one of the California gold miners and you found those flecks of gold in the bottom. I think that's exactly how we felt about it.
Creating the powdered spider goat protein was a scientific breakthrough. But Randy's quest is to create the strongest thread on Earth, just like Spider-Man.
Put it into the syringe, and then we push all the air out of the syringe till we get a very small bubble of the material, the spin dope, out of the top, and then it's ready to spin.
To turn the protein into a viable thread has taken decades of research. But Randy says he's finally mimicked the spider's innate ability to spin a super strong thread, and he's about to prove it. Stan thought Spider-Man's web was just fantasy, but I'm watching those comic book pages come to life, right in front of my eyes.
So that's it. That's the spider silk right there.
Yep. That is spider silk from goat milk right there.
Wow. It's so amazing that you started looking for the gene inside of a spider. You took it out, found a carrier to put it inside of a goat, made a goat, milked it, and then processed it to actual spider silk.
Right, exactly.
This is absolutely amazing.
And Randy says that by going back to nature, he has produced a thread better than any man-made material.
How much does this weigh compared to steel, Kevlar?
Compared to steel, it's going to be at least a fifth the weight.
So is it the same strength as steel?
It's way stronger than steel. It's 5 to 7 times stronger than steel.
Now I want to see if this really is the strongest thread on Earth by stretching it to its breaking point. We know what it takes to break Kevlar. Can Randy's spider goat silk really be stronger?
So right now this machine is slowly stretching the fiber?
It's pulling apart. So the top's moving away, the bottom's held steady, and you can measure then how far it's stretching and how much force it's taking. So if you look on the screen, you can see that so far it's stretched about 2 millimeters and it's taking about 25 millinewtons in terms of force.
Yep, just popped. So what kind of...
Well, so you can see on the screen that on this axis we measure how much strong it is. This is how far it stretches. Overall energy to break or toughness better than Kevlar was.
So the highest numbers you got are better than Kevlar?
Yes, highest number we got are better than Kevlar. It takes so much energy for it to break compared to Kevlar, compared to steel, compared to everything else out there.
So this really is the future of material science.
It certainly looks like it has a potential for an awful lot of important applications.
This technology could revolutionize medicine, creating virtually indestructible artificial limbs, organs, and ligaments. Randy has achieved the dream of creating a super strong web, just like Spider-Man.
It takes more energy to break a spider silk thread than anything else on the face of the earth.
Stronger than steel, stronger than Kevlar, more flexible than nylon, and it's all thanks to the spider.
Using cutting-edge technology, harnessing the power of these fearsome arachnids earns him genuine superhuman status. Next up, a woman who climbs just like Spider-Man.
I've never seen anybody move vertically like that. She's got crazy grip strength.
And a man who seems to defy gravity. Next up, I want Daniel to investigate the claim that a woman appears to defy what's known about human anatomy, turning comic book fiction into reality.
I may have just met a man who can make spiderweb, but now I'm on my way to meet Tori Allen, who is rumored to be able to climb, just like Spider-Man. By the age of 14, Tori had broken world speed climbing records and was the youngest girl ever to climb Yosemite's El Capitan, a mountain that has taken the lives of nearly 30 climbers. I want to know how someone so young and so small could become the fastest climber in the world.
Tori?
Yes.
Hi, I'm Daniel. I've heard you're the world's fastest climber.
Oh, yeah.
So why are people saying that?
I set the world record in the X Games, 65 feet in 13.4 seconds.
Wait, you said 65 feet and 13.4
.4 seconds.
seconds?
Yes.
I don't even think I could climb 6 flights of stairs that fast. How'd you get into climbing in the first place?
It was when I first started climbing real rocks. I was raised in West Africa and had a pet monkey, so I just followed my monkey everywhere. And then when we came to America, I got into climbing at a sports store. They had a climbing wall in their store. 3 months later, I won junior nationals.
You climbed for only 3 months, and then you won the nationals.
Junior nationals, yes.
Junior nationals.
When I was 12, I won the adult nationals.
Whoa.
And then when I was 14, I set the world record in speed climbing.
Tori has achieved so much for someone so young, but I want to see her in action.
All right, Tori, how high is this cliff face?
I think this is about 45, 50 feet tall.
Okay. All right, so I want to see a good example of speed climbing. I brought a little stopwatch right here, and we'll see how high you can do 45 feet.
All right, let's do it.
All right.
A cliff like this should take a really experienced climber around 2 minutes.
3, 2, 1, go.
We've just passed 20 seconds, and Tori is nearly at the top.
Got it!
It has taken Tori just 32 seconds to scale the cliff face.
Wow, that was impressive. And I saw a couple of, it looked like you were leaping like a mountain goat or something. You were just totally running up that rock.
That was nothing. Wait till you see me later.
All right, so you can top this?
Yeah, definitely.
Like Spider-Man, Tori's climbing skills are incredible, but she seems more like a monkey than a spider. The question is she more monkey than human? I'm calling in physiologist David Sandler to find out.
Hey, David. How's it going, buddy?
How you doing?
So I just watched Tori do some crazy stuff. It was on a rock face, and it was about 50 feet in the air, and she just basically ran straight up it.
You know, I've heard of these people that climb like monkeys. We can put it to the test. We definitely can measure grip strength. We can definitely measure what we call sort of a power to weight ratio. I'm interested to see what you're doing so that we can, you know, see what we can actually record.
Monkeys' agility comes from their power to weight ratio, coupled with their amazing grip strength, meaning they can leap great distances with their vice-like precision grip. Tori says she can leap her own height, grabbing the rock face with only the strength in her fingers.
Your leg's gonna be here?
No, my hand will be here, and then I'll jump, and my hands will be there.
That's like 6 or 7 feet.
Not gonna happen.
There's no way.
No way you can do that.
We'll see.
I'm not a climber, so why don't I ask another climber to see how it looks if they try?
Okay.
All right, cool. Hey, does anyone want to help me out?
All right.
But time after time, each of these experienced climbers try and fail.
All right.
So,
okay.
Your shot.
All right.
Whoa! Holy cow.
Wow.
That's incredible.
Monkeys have one of the greatest power-to-weight ratios in the animal kingdom, meaning although small, they can output an unbelievable amount of power. This enables them to climb incredibly fast. So for our next test, we're going to measure Tori's output as she climbs a 50-foot wall. A normal climber needs one person to pull a safety rope. Tori is so fast, she needs two.
Go super fast. Holy cow.
Wow.
That's crazy.
So have you ever seen climbing like that
I've
before?
never seen climbing like that. It's amazing. Her power output is 21 watts per pound, which you're talking about power outputs of, you know, some of the top-end football players. But of course, she's one-third their size.
Wow, so she's one-third the size of a professional football player, but she can generate the same amount of power?
That's a good professional football player that's very powerful, and she's generating that kind of power.
So just like a monkey, although small, Tori can output the same amount of power as a high-performance athlete more than twice her size. Tori believes this comes from following her pet monkey as a child, and she has developed the ability to climb using only her fingertips.
All right, so what are you gonna do now?
So right here, I'm gonna climb up here, and then I'm gonna cut my feet, and I'm gonna just climb without my feet.
All right, so as soon as you get this little edge here, no more feet.
No more feet.
Great strength.
Tori is taking her entire body weight with just her fingers.
Uh-oh.
That is incredible.
That's amazing.
David believes that finger strength to this level, rarely seen outside of primates, could be a big part of the secret behind Tori's ability. He wants to put her finger grip to the test.
We're gonna just see how hard she can squeeze this device. Just gonna grab the ends and squeeze, but...
The average woman can produce around 11 pounds of force with her fingertips.
Squeeze. Wow. Whoa. That was amazing. There it is. It did pop up.
Tori produced a massive 33 pounds of force, 3 times the average.
I've never seen anything like this in this kind of application. I mean, we've seen athletes and people really be able to do amazing things, but this is very fine motor skills. And to train fine motor skills to move like that and with that kind of strength, it's very impressive. She's got crazy grip strength.
So with her grip strength, Tori again is more monkey than human, but the similarities don't end here.
Well, let's take a look at her hands for a second. I mean, there's definitely a little bit different architecture in her hands.
For her hand size, her fingers are pretty long, and her knuckles are pretty bulky. If you just look at mine, it's just like a straight line here, but here her knuckles kind of poke out.
Yeah, it appears, I mean, it's actually, you know, it's very similar to primates. And so
David has one more test.
Out, just like that.
He wants to measure Tori's 8th index, the difference in the length between your arm span and your height. Unlike primates, the arm span of a human should be equal to or less than your height.
So a 4-inch greater span, that's a very long mechanical advantage. We definitely know that long limbs are helpful in generating speed. So that definitely could be a factor that helps you in your climbing.
So we've discovered Tori's built like a monkey, but just how fast can she go? I'm going to push her to her limit on this 40-foot wall, taking on 2 climbers on their home turf.
3, 2, 1, go!
It's time to take Tori Allen to the max. Tori is rumored to be able to climb just like Spider-Man. I'm going to push her to her limit on this 40-foot wall, taking on 2 climbers on their home turf.
Good luck.
Thanks.
All right, climb as absolutely fast as you can. 3, 2, 1, go!
Round 1 to Tori.
Time was just over 7 seconds, and so it looks like she's climbing almost 6 feet per second.
Now it's time for round 2.
3, 2, 1, go!
again, Tori smashes the competition like a real-life Spider-Man.
Without a doubt, I'd consider her superhuman. She's not just explosive, crazy reach, unbelievable grip strength. She has all the elements, and that's superhuman.
It seems that Spider-Man truly has inspired climbers and scientists to pursue the dream of harnessing the power of the spider, turning comic book fiction into reality. Spider-Man's enemy, Rocket Racer, was a scientific prodigy who designed a super-powered skateboard capable of extraordinary speeds and height. Next up, I want Daniel to investigate a skateboarder who might just have taken skateboarding to a superhuman level.
I'm on my way to meet Bob Burnquist, a man obsessed with skateboarding. He's mastered every trick in the book, but that isn't enough. His dream is to ride his skateboard faster and higher than anyone before. And he says he's built a ramp in his backyard to make this dream a reality. Skateboarding was born on the California streets in the 1940s to give surfers something to do when there were no waves. It has since spread through the world, and only the best and most daring skaters can make it to the top. Bob is one of the best and has turned his backyard into a skater's dream. That was absolutely amazing.
Well, nice to meet you. Welcome.
Yes, this compound's pretty cool, dude.
Yeah, this is my dreamland right here. This is a dream come true. I grew up in Brazil. I was born and raised down there, and I started skating in Sao Paulo. I just wanted to skate, and I just wanted to learn tricks, and I never wanted it to end. And 24 years later, I'm still pursuing that, you know? You know, I remember the first time I learned how to get air was like this little ollie, and I just was just so excited. I finally learned how to, like, get off of the ramp and then come back down. And all I wanted to do is, like, get higher and higher and higher. Lift your hand up, a little high five.
All right, man. That was cool, man.
Sweet, man.
To get higher, you need to go faster. And the bigger the ramp, the faster you move. Tell me this. How do you get higher? What's the next step?
Well, I have some ramps here, as you see, but I got this other one that's just a little bigger than this, and it's pretty special. If you want to come check it out, I'll show you.
That's what I'm here for, man.
Let's do it.
All right, cool. Following you, buddy.
Right over this way.
Bob's obsession with taking skateboarding to the next level has led him to build the biggest skate ramp in the world. And he's about to take on his biggest ever jump. Whoa, this is horrifying. I'm in California with Bob Burnquist, whose dream to jump further than anyone else led him to build the biggest skate ramp in the world in his own backyard. And what he's about to attempt looks nearly impossible. Wow. This really is a mega ramp.
This is it.
Wow. So, I mean, how big is this thing?
Oh, this is, depending on what you're looking at, we're jumping a 70-foot gap, and then you're looking at a 30-foot quarter pipe. Big. It's mega. It's the mega ramp.
Yeah. You are not kidding.
Yeah, this is the fun. This is, you know, this is where it's fast, big, long, you know, and where you really get scared. Ah, it's a workout.
All right. Whoa.
This is it.
This gap is terrifying. The gap is 70 foot wide with a deadly 40-foot drop. I've never seen anything like this before.
It's a part of of skateboarding that, you know, it's just fast, big, you know, and scary. You got to pay attention. It's like you got to be in that moment or, you know, it's over.
The ramp is so big that Bob has a car to drive to the top. And once we're there, we have to climb to the 8-story launch pad.
Down.
Yeah, this is scary. Whoa, this is horrifying. I can't imagine what it feels like to stand on this slip with a skateboard under your feet right before you drop in.
Everything about this ramp is terrifying, but Bob says he's willing to show me it in action. I'm calling back in human physiology expert David Sandler to work out the exact forces it takes to perform this unimaginable feat.
Got a radar gun and we've got some accelerometers. We'll be able to determine all of his G-forces and every kind of thing that his body is doing to make him right himself and land and make these stunts.
I mean, that's like 8 stories high. That's coming down over this 70-foot gap.
Well, I'm afraid of heights to begin with, so, but I always got to face my fears. Of course, that would not be the way I'd face my fears. But he's got to hit the board right underneath him. If his body's off one side, just slightly, he's going to miss the whole thing.
And that's just one element. He's got to land it and then hit that quarter pipe.
To follow his obsession of insane height and speed, Bob will attempt to jump the 70-foot gap, and he says he's going to do it with a backflip.
You all right? I hit a big hole on takeoff. Oh my gosh.
After that near miss, Bob is still willing to try again.
He flew through the air upside down and somehow he landed like a cat.
It was incredible. I saw things flying and...
All right, let's get ready. Here he goes.
There it is.
Oh, man.
Nails it.
All right.
Bob, that was one of the most amazing things I've ever seen.
You were pulling like around 3 Gs coming off the ramp. Boom, down. I think you hit somewhere around 13, 14 feet. That was amazing. Your ability to just nail it. 3 Gs, 80-foot gap. Just ridiculous. I've never seen anything like it.
Performing such jaw-dropping stunts goes way beyond what most people could ever achieve. We've witnessed people capable of extraordinary things and proven that superhumans are all around you. You just have to know where to look.